Hey trackies, welcome back to another video. Please remember to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. That's how the video gets through the YouTube algorithm. Share the video if you care. I hope you care, so share. And yes, trackies, I'm looking forward to the discourse in the comment section below. That being said, TXT Track Time is number one for entertaining sports commentary. You can't grab me and beat me. Now, trackies, I'm so happy that you all trackies are trackies and you always come with the heat and the questions and concerns in the comment section below, because actually this topic was on my desk for a minute, but given the situation, I decided, hey, let's wait and watch and see exactly what will happen for this recently laid track at the National Stadium. Now the question was posed to me in the comment section, hey T, do you think this track is seemingly a bit on the slow side? No, it's interesting because earlier on, when the track was just relayed or just laid, right? I did a video, in response, to Asafa Powell saying, hey, the track is seemingly fast, right? That, hey, if Asafa said the track is fast, then the track is fast. And I'm excited for the performances that will come. And right after that track is, we saw, what happened at the Easter Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships. We did get some really good times, especially in the sprints. We saw a lot of our young, junior athletes running, really good times. But overall track is, of course, the concern was, how long would this hold up for? And the best way really to know how long it will hold up for is just to wait and see. Because I do remember after I did that video, an athlete, a professional athlete, reached out to me and said, hey, this track, unfortunately, is going to go soft, right? So all this talk and hoopla about, the track seemingly fast for the particular moment, well, guess what? It's not going to be that way as time progresses. Now, this athlete definitely, gave me some background as it relates to what was really going on back then. So, of course, the old track was, level 1 certified, and they had repatched or patched some sections of the track given the damage that it suffered from a few other concerts that were held there, right? And given that it wasn't visually appealing, nothing physically was wrong with the track, but it wasn't visually appealing. So the original company that laid or resurfaced the track to the blue track, that is, said, hey, let's just give it a fresh coat of painting, and that will resolve the issue as it relates to the patchiness that you're looking at from a visual perspective. Because again, the track itself is level, nothing is wrong with the track. It's just that from a visual perspective, you may look at it and say, hey, something or look right with this particular track, especially for big Jamaica. So they're like, okay, let's give it a fresh coat of paint, because as things stand right now, there's not enough time to get the track resurfaced. So the best thing is to give it some paint, and then in the off season we can go in and resurface the entire track. However, track is, that was not the option that was chosen, right? So the J3s, the government, whoever made the decision, they decided that, okay, we're not going to wait to resurface the track. What we're going to do is we're going to lay down a new track on top of the old track. Now, this athlete explained that the moment you do that, it's going to downgrade the track from level 1. And of course, track is level 1 is important in terms of hosting meetings here at the National Stadium. But track is, of course, that was not taken into consideration. So the track right off the bat would have been downgraded from level 1, and it clearly is now a level 2 track. But that wasn't the biggest issue. What the athlete, explained to me, which a number of high profile coaches, were definitely disgruntled about, was the fact that they were literally laying another layer of rubber on top of a layer of rubber that was already there. And when you take that into consideration, trackies, and really think about it, yeah, the track would go soft after a while. So now in recent weeks, I've been watching the performances, and I've definitely found it a bit interesting, the times that have been laid, where they don't seem to be hitting on times we would be seeing, especially for this time of the year at the National Stadium. So the question did pop back up in my mind at that particular point, but I wasn't really, considering doing a video on it as yet, because I was waiting actually until after the national championships, because I was like, okay, we can take into consideration that the athletes may be, gauging their season because the championships is a bit later. So maybe that's why we're not seeing, times as fast as we would typically see at this particular point in time. at the national stadium. So the best time really to give a proper judge on, whether or not the track is fast or slow is the national championships, right? So, Jackie, that has been my thought process when it comes to really deciding whether or not we think this track has become, super soft and the performances won't be as great as we would typically see on the track what was there before, which highlights exactly what I was told before, that this track is going to go soft and we will not see any super fast times. So clearly, we have the Racers Grand Prix that will be coming up over the weekend on Saturday. And I was like, listen, at this particular point in the year, there's nothing wrong with, especially athletes that are typically used to running, fast in June, coming out and running fast. But then when you take into consideration that, the track is seemingly much slower than it was, and that is the previously, blue track that's underneath, the black, green, and gold track that you're looking at right now. The big question is, what type of performances will we be seeing on the track at the Racers Grand Prix? Will it be an indication that, yes, indeed, the track isn't up to standard of the track that was previously laid? Or do you think we should wait until at least the national trials to see, okay, at this particular point, everybody have to go come with them best if they even want to dream or sniff taking a spot on the team to represent Jamaica at the World Championship? So if at that particular time athletes come out and they're typically used to running, let's use Kishane, as long as they're not having any injury setbacks, they're used to running 9.7s by the time trials rolls around, and we're not seeing anything like that by the time we get to trials on this particular track, then yes, track is, I guess it's fair to say that the concerns from, the athletes, and I'm talking about the professional athletes from the onset, these professional athletes came out and said, hey, or at least reached out to me and said, hey, this track is going to go soft. Coaches also were not with it, but guess what? Track is the optics for the optics. Nobody really said anything. They just allowed it to fly. So let's see, what happens going forward. But yeah, man, I'm definitely keeping my eye on the situation when it comes to the track because, child, nothing like hoping for a faster track and getting one that's slower. I swear to you. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Have you been watching the trending, on the track, the performances on the track in Kingston? Do you think the track has gotten slower? Certainly sound off in the comment section below. For me, trackies, I'm still waiting, as I said, because I believe the perfect time to really gauge the track is the national championships. I kind of want to see what's going to happen at Racers too from a, overall perspective. I want to see each event and look at what these athletes are doing right now and see what they will actually lay down in Kingston. If, slightly better or slightly worse, I really want to, gauge it after watching the overall performances. That being said, as I said, sound off and let me know, your thoughts initially right now on this new track in Kingston. It's not resurfaced, guys. Resurface means that they have to dig up the whole thing and, relay it. That's not what happened. They pretty much put, another track on top of the old track. So anyway, let me know your thoughts, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.